CBT News celebrates 12 years of delivering news, content, coaching, and analysis to the retail automotive community. The strongest team in automotive media, CBT News. You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of Inside Automotive right here at cbtnews.com. Nissan ended merger talks with Honda and is exploring other potential partnerships. What does this mean for the industry and Nissan dealers and Nissan consumers for that matter? Joining us now to discuss this further is Lauren Fix, automotive expert and the founder of Car Coach Reports. You've seen her here before on CBT News because she is so gracious to give us all this time here at the studio. We very much appreciate it. Lauren, welcome into the show. So glad you're here.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Sure. So what say you about this Nissan ending talks with Honda, and what does all of this mean?
You know, when they first came up with this announcement, I thought to myself, okay, interesting. But what it said to me was the Japanese government must be getting involved because Toyota partners with Mazda and with Subaru to share some content, and that helps all three brands, a rising tides kind of theory. Mm-hmm. So we knew that Nissan was in trouble, the number 3 brand in Japan. But Honda's doing so well, so why would Honda even consider looking at Nissan? It doesn't make sense maybe for trucks, but they offer a Ridgeline. And so we also see that Mitsubishi would be coming along on that path. However, Mitsubishi said, nope, we don't want to be a part of that, which meant it was very interesting because also Renault is also involved in part ownership of that group of Nissan and Mitsubishi. And so when you start looking at what is that all about, let's go back in time a little bit, a little bit of Carlos Ghosn, who also said that this sounds like a May Day type event, and I agree with him. When Carlos Ghosn speaks, he's very smart. I was a trainer for Nissan many years ago. When he came on board, we got a chance to sit one-on-one with him. Boy, an impressive gentleman.
Yes, for sure.
Who saved Nissan.
Yeah.
But because I think that they were concerned about the French potentially taking them over, whatever that may have happened, they got rid of him. We don't know. We'll never know what the true story is. Right. My speculation is that they wanted to get rid of him. They were afraid of the French potentially owning a Japanese brand. There's a lot of culture involved there.
Oh, yeah.
They're very proud.
Yep.
And I get that and understand it.
Yeah. No question about it.
Yeah, but I think that this may have been a bailout from Japan saying to Honda, you got to help your little sister here. They're number 3. They, together you guys could be 3rd largest in the world, which could have been good. But I think what happens now is it's actually good for Honda. They're very focused on their future and the plans and the product that they have. Mm-hmm. And Nissan is struggling because it's all about dollars and they need a lot of upgrades. And I don't see a plan in place right now.
Yeah. What do you think happened to Nissan? I mean, if you were obviously Monday morning quarterback on Nissan, they've got great, beautiful dealerships and a very enthusiastic dealer body. And they had some good advertising a couple of years back and some momentum. What happened?
Well, I also like the Infinity, which is their luxury line.
Yeah.
Very big fan of that.
Yeah, great car.
And it sort of got left behind. I think the technology became dated. Yeah. They didn't move with it, and that cost money, and I get that. And that's why a partnership with Honda might have been helpful to Nissan. On the other side, they told the Infinity dealerships who've put millions of dollars into these beautiful standalone dealerships, hey, you're going to merge that back into your Nissan dealership?
Oh, my God.
That's sort of going backwards, and I feel really bad because there's a lot of money involved in the commercial real estate,
of course,
the investment that they put into the Infinity line, and now they are still struggling with these CVT transmissions. So they sell a lot on price. They are built in the U.S. They're still building some vehicles in Mexico and some still in Japan. And sadly, their electric vehicles did not take off. The Leaf has been around forever. It is a mainstay. It was one of the early adapters to come in on electric. And there are people that I know that have them and love them because they're great for that little trip back and forth to work. Yeah. But for some reason, it's just getting overlooked. And now with electric vehicle mandate going away, that's not going to help Nissan, who just invested in Aria products, which is a really cool vehicle. I've driven many of them. But I think the thing is they need an upgrade on some of their materials on the inside, on some of their technology. That doesn't mean they're bad cars. They're great cars. And customers that own Nissan should be totally fine. There's still dealers here. They're here to help their customers. They still have warranties. Sure. Nothing's changing for the customer, whether it be cars of the past or the cars of current.
Sure.
So that's the good thing for the customer. So that's a good thing. So obviously diffuse that immediately, because a customer might come in and going, oh, you're going out of business. That's not going to be the case. I think that Nissan needs an influx of cash and an influx of technology. And that's why a company like Foxconn is interested. Not necessarily the best choice, but we don't know what they have to offer just yet.
Right.
My guess is you're going to see better assembly, because they do the iPhone for Apple. You might see some new technology, which could really bring some fresh blood to Nissan.
Yeah.
But they have to do something. They can't just stay where they are, or they're not going to survive.
Right. Who would be a good suitor outside of Foxconn?
Well, that is challenging. I know that they have a cultural thing, so this is the problem. Toyota's not going to merge with them, nor is any other Japanese brand.
Yeah.
I am sure that the Chinese would love to have their fingers on the Nissan brand.
Right.
I don't know if that's a wise idea. That might create a lot of tariff fees and make cars more expensive, which certainly the dealers do not want. The customer doesn't want that either. So it kind of leaves them open. Stellantis might be able to do something with them if they're willing to work with the Belgians. Thinking about what Stellantis has and their struggles as well, having limited product available, they have to do something. So when you have two struggling companies together, it could be even a worse struggling company, depending upon what the plan
this is true. Right.
Or they could help each other by sharing platforms, sharing content, sharing technology, which would be actually a benefit. Again, it all depends on how it's laid out, but they have to do something. And leaving things the way they are right now, with as it's been since they're still suffering from Carlos Ghosn and that whole situation. They need to turn it around. They need to come back on the market strong, and they've got the product on a global basis. So I think it can be done. It needs to be getting rid of those CVTs that customers hate, and don't just sell on price, sell on quality, which they used to do. They need a turnaround master. They need somebody special.
They do.
I do know there's been some. They need what they really need is a Jose Munez. Who's done well for Hyundai. They need someone to come in to say, I'm not a car. I may be a car guy, I may not be a car guy. But I have a perspective on marketing and getting cars to customers what they want, the prices they want.
That's right.
And getting rid of vehicles like the Versa, to me, was foolish, because it was a great car under $20,000.
Yeah, it was
everything customers wanted.
That's right. All right, so let's talk about what else is on your radar right now. Talk to us about this AM station situation.
All right. Now, I know that not everybody thinks AM stations are great, but if you're going to listen to your local sports, if your kids are in high school or college, that's where you listen to it.
Sure.
When the weather goes bad, first thing we do is we turn on our AM radio in our car to hear our local
You're right about
news,
that.
talk, sports, it's all local. There is some national, obviously national
but there's a
shows.
place. You're right. There's a place for it.
Right, and it's free, which is why the car manufacturers don't like it. Now, I know the dealers like it because they want to sell on to people that want to be able to listen to what they want to listen to.
Sure.
And don't go with this, you can listen to it on your phone. If you don't have at least 2 bars of service, you can't, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I can't listen to them if I don't have at least 2 bars, and mostly a time I need Wi-Fi.
Right.
So, and I don't want to it doesn't work in a lot of cars. So with that thought in mind, the AM radio for all vehicles is Senate Bill 315. It is co-sponsored by Ted Cruz and Markey, and they're bringing it back up on the floor, very fast-paced.
Okay.
This is good. Many manufacturers, I know this is outside the dealer, and I think this is one of the conversations that consumers need to have with dealers. Dealers don't make these decisions. You're selling vehicles from the brand that you franchise with. And I've talked to so many people lately saying, car manufacturers are going to jack up the prices and the dealers are just going to follow suit. That's not necessarily true. So I think a conversation with customers, letting them know there is a difference between the dealers and what we do for our local communities and how we support our local communities.
No question about it. No question.
Versus at a national level. So the AM radio for all is actually good. I have friends that are Cuban, and they love listening to the Cuban soap operas, which you cannot get anywhere else but on AM radio. So, I mean, that may be one thing. Maybe you love baseball. Yeah, baseball, whatever it might be.
Right.
But the fact is, if you don't have it, you may not be able to listen to what you want to listen to. And so this should pass quickly. I'm very excited about this.
And how much could it really add to the cost of a car? I mean, to have it in there. I mean, what's the big deal, right?
Well, the story is that they really don't want AM radio because they want you to pay for a subscription fee to satellite radio, to a Google-based something, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which they pay to Apple and to Android for putting it in their cars.
Sure.
So if they have to pay for it, they want to make money. It's about losing money on electric cars and offsetting that with subscription fees.
Yes,
so
right.
if I give you AM radio and FM radio, then you don't need to use your phone or the app that has a fee based to it.
This is true.
So this is how you offset that.
Yeah.
So you use the story of the cover story is, well, these electric cars and all these hybrid cars, we can't get good signal. That is not true. I will call that poppycock.
Right.
Because as soon as Ford got the pressure from the masses, they immediately put it back in through a software update. And it works in a Mach-E, and it works in a Ford Lightning truck. So that's not true. They're trying to say, oh, it costs a lot for shielding.
Wow.
They've been dealing with this since the 50s. They know how to shield for AM radio. They just don't want to. They're looking for ways to cut corners, cut costs, and get you onto subscription, getting consumers onto customer-based subscriptions for whatever, whether it be Wi-Fi or some Google-based product. And that's the problem, as we know.
That's right. If you had to pick one other thing on your agenda there or on your list of things that the dealer community and the consumer community need to keep their eye on here in this first quarter, what would it be?
I want to see what's going on with these mandates, $7,500 tax credit. I'm still saying that Bernie Moreno needs to be our car czar.
Yeah.
I know he's one of us, which is great.
Right. I love that. Car czar. I love it. Yep.
Yeah, that's what he called it. That, as a matter of fact, he even said that the electric vehicle mandate was absurd. He used a different word that was, I think he said catastrophically stupid, but I agree.
Yes.
But I've been saying that a lot, and I've taken a lot of heat from manufacturers for it. But I think what we need is to get a consortium, and I'm working on this now, of people in the industry and a few dealers that are not looking for the fame and fortune of being in the limelight. What we're really looking for is to get this messages to Lee Zeldin, to Sean Duffy, to Bernie Moreno, and let's try to make it so that the car manufacturers aren't in bed with the government, which is what the government believes.
That's right.
Even though, true or not, this is what the government believes, is that, and that the dealers are the enemy. And we don't want that. We want the customers to know the dealers are our business partners with you. We want to have a business relationship with our customers.
That's right. And
then we want the manufacturers to work with us, not against us.
That's right. And Lauren Fix needs to be on that committee. Bernie, if you're listening to us, as I know you do watch CBT News, here's your first person that needs to be appointed on that committee, among others that we talk to here at CBT News. So Lauren Fix, automotive expert and founder of Car Coach Reports. If you haven't already, go to her website. You will love what you see. It's phenomenal. It's got all things automotive, and she's just an all-around great person. So Lauren, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.